Alright, we're gonna do a little September garden update and show you what we have going on out here. Hey guys, what you doing?
Looking at this little broccoli plant. Yeah, we planted it a few days ago, but it's not doing
It was
so
yesterday, exactly yesterday.
It's not doing good.
Uh-oh. How are the rest of them doing though?
They look pretty good.
Hey guys, it's the middle of September now, and I just was gonna give you a quick update on what's going on in the big garden, some projects we have going on, and really just the state of everything, which for the most part, it's pretty sad. So I did not shoot a garden tour in August for multiple reasons. One, because I was sick for most of August. Two, because the heat was just incredible. And three, because the garden pretty much died and it looked pretty pitiful, and it looks really pitiful now. Pretty much everything's dead with the exception of just a few things, and it's covered in weeds, and it's going to take me a long time to reclaim it. So that's kind of what we're working on today. Is I have my kids out here helping me. We're pulling the weeds, and we're working, oh gosh, this big spider web. I almost ran into this giant spider web. Anyway, the kids are helping me pull weeds, and we're just trying to reclaim this garden a little bit by a little bit. Let me give you an overview about what is happening now, and I'll show you what we're working on and what my plans are for the fall. So here's just kind of a pan shot overlooking the garden, and why a few things are okay. Hey Luke, a lot of things are just dead and dying and or covered with weeds. Luke's holding up a big dead sunflower. Are you guys gonna pull that sunflower out?
Yeah, we are.
All right, go for it.
Whoa. We did it. We pulled it out. Oh, not yet.
How tall is that?
A big, over 10 feet probably.
All right, go put it on the pile for me.
Oh, look, I'm lifting it.
All right, so I'm just gonna kind of quickly pan over the garden. I'm not gonna go through everything step by step, but as you can see, this one was a trellis full of tomatoes that are all dead. Corn back there, dead. I do have some peppers that are still producing, but there's a lot of weeds growing up. These marigolds are completely overgrown. There's grass all in my walkway. I do have a few squash. Good job, guys. My helpers today. I do have a few squash that I was able to replant for a second round of squash, and those are looking all right. But this trellis of noodle beans, it's all dried and dead, as expected. I started to lay down some cardboard, but I never got it covered, and it got all misplaced, and now there's weeds growing between it. More weeds, more grass. This right here was a whole row of beans that kind of reseeded itself, but just has gone to weeds. Dead things on a trellis down there. Let me show you this okra. Well, we'll stop at the zinnias first. I do have a few zinnias that are they're still holding on, but they're broken. Lots of weeds in between those, and I have these gigantic okra trees that are just super tall. There's an okra bloom, and it has put out a ton of okra. Like, this okra plant, it's got to be over 10 feet tall. Here's some red Alabama okra that I've just let get big and woody, and I'm saving that for seeds. This okra here is heavy hitter okra that I'm also saving for seeds. But super tall plants. Here's the weedy garden from the backside. I attempted to weed this row, and I laid down some tarps in an effort to try to kill things off. And I just haven't gotten back to it yet. You can see everything's coming out the end where I didn't quite get it covered on the end. I'm just going through row by row every bit of time that I get to myself and trying to go through and just get the grass out of these rows. I'll show you what we're doing down here on the end. Besides the peanuts, this is the one other good thing I have going on. These are all sweet potatoes, and those are looking really good. And yesterday, I was able to get this row planted here. This is a row of broccoli starts and Brussels sprout starts. So this is the broccoli here. They're a little wilty looking from the heat. I'm going to water them again today before I leave. But I'm hoping to actually grow some successful broccoli this year.
Well,
There you go. All right, so this is what our current project is today. The kids are out here helping me, and we're trying to get this last row where we had watermelons planted. We're trying to get all the weeds out of it, all the nut grass, which has grown like crazy. We kind of made it down to this end, and then we stopped for lunch. But we're going to pull all these weeds out and try to reset this row so we can plant some. What are we going to plant?
Pumpkins.
No, we're not going to plant pumpkins.
Squash.
No, we're going to try to plant like beets and carrots and radish, and I would like to get some cabbage starts. But we have to keep weeding. Well, we'll do pumpkins next year, okay? We're about to get back to work getting that row weeded. So I wanted to explain to you what my plan is for the rest of the garden. Alright, so my plan is to get these last 2 garden beds reclaimed. I need to reclaim them from the nut grass and the weeds, and I want to use them for all of my fall vegetables. I'm still deciding. I might do a 3rd row and plant a bunch of onions and garlic. But at least 2 for garden vegetables, and then the rest of the garden, once everything's done and I harvest the peanuts and the rest of the squash, my plan is to pull out absolutely everything. All the weeds, all the dead plants, well, I say all the weeds. I'm going to weed it as much as I humanly possibly can, and then I'm going to cover it all in black plastic in an attempt to kill off everything and to create a fresh bed for the spring. I've asked several questions on different forums about that. I'm getting a lot of conflicting information. I really don't know if that is the best method to take, but I do know is that I have a big issue with nutgrass, and I need to figure out some way to combat that. So when I started this garden last year, and I can link the video to how I did that, but basically I covered the whole thing in cardboard, and then I put compost on the areas where I wanted garden beds, and I put wood chips on the areas where I wanted walkways. And the weeds really stayed back for a long time. I did not have problems with weeds until we hit about, I guess it was mid-July into August, and they really just started ramping up, and I couldn't keep up with it, and then I got sick, and I really couldn't keep up with it, and things just got overwhelming and got ahead of me. And so I'm trying to figure out a way to get back on top of it and just use different techniques to try to gain control of it over it for next year. So my plan is to cover the garden in black plastic. We're just going to see how it works. I don't know. It could be a fail, but we're going to try it. So for now, we're going to continue on getting the weeds out of this row, going all the way to the end. And if we have more time, we'll start working on this row here. But we're going to see how much stuff we can get done in the time we have left, right?
Yeah.
You going to help me?
Maybe.
Okay.
People ate quail in the Bible.
So this was the bed where all the watermelons were, and I was able to get it completely weeded. This was the bed that was planted yesterday with broccoli and Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes down on the end. And here on this 3rd bed, I tarped this a couple weeks ago, and I'm gonna pull those back here in a little bit. But right now, I'm working on this end over here. This is my current project right here, getting these out, and I'm gonna take these trellises down. Hopefully, I can get all of this weeded up until the tarp and get all that done before the rain comes. Whew. Okay, guys. So I've been out here the better part of this afternoon. Yeah, it's been like 5 or 6 hours that I've been working, but I got a lot done. Look at that there. This row was all grass and watermelons. This row was done yesterday, And I showed you this row earlier, which was all grass. So I tried my hardest to really get up under the root systems with my hori and get out all the roots of that nut grass. The nut grass is just taken over everything. And I need to cover this with some either cardboard or newspaper and put some straw on it. I've just run out of time today, so I'm gonna do that tomorrow. And then down here, I peeked under these tarps to see how things looked. And mostly everything is dead. There's still some persistent weeds. So I will handle those tomorrow and cover this with paper and straw, very similar to what I did right here. And I still, of course, need to get some more wood chips and cardboard on those walkways. But I got a lot of work done today. That took quite a bit of effort. But look at those sweet potatoes. Oh, and one thing I forgot to share with you guys is I'm working on some compost piles. This is a compost pile that's in progress, and this is one that we just compiled today. Turned the camera around and realized I still had this flower in my ear. Micah picked that for me earlier. So these are my compost piles. I'm trying a new composting method. Well, my first composting method, really, the 18-day compost method. I'm making a whole separate video about that, so I'll share that with you later. But we were able to get a second compost pile started today. So lots of progress in the garden today. It's hard work, but it's good therapy for me. It's cheap therapy and feeds my family, makes me happy. So I'll get out here tomorrow and get some things covered, but we have some big thunderstorms rolling up, so I need to go. But thank you for watching this. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless. Bye.